Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Stu Clark. I spent far too much time shooting in the studio lately, so I figured it's time to head out in the field, and I've got an awesome subject in mind today that'll hopefully brighten up your day. It's every bird photographer's favorite time of year. Migration's just underway. Generally on the island, the beginning of April is when most things start to show up. Our first bird to show up is the Rufous Hummingbird. It's actually our smallest migratory bird. They're pretty amazing. They'll fly all the way up from Central America. So that's going to be the subject we're looking for today. And they are such a fun bird to photograph. You can obviously do a feeder setup, and we'll actually be touching on that. I've just kind of set up Hummingbird Studio in my backyard. So we'll be kind of looking at that in the coming weeks. I haven't had feeder set up through the season, so I don't have any activity at the moment, but hopefully we get some good action starting up in the next week here. Now on the island, we actually have Anna's hummingbirds all year. They're actually the furthest north of any hummingbird species. They're actually non-migratory here. They definitely take advantage of feeders in people's yards and insects and the like to make it through the season. The Rufus is what we're out looking for today. They showed up about a week and a half ago. The first one started coming back. They are an awesome, fun little subject, and we're not going to be looking at them from shooting them on feeders today. We're going to actually be looking at trying to get them perched. A lot of patience involved in trying to catch them. So what you're trying to do is, you can see behind me here, we've got kind of a bunch of blackberries and things like that. And you're definitely going to be listening for them and looking for them. And they'll basically be perched on top of trees. But what you'll find is they will have their preferred perches down low as well. So you definitely get flowers. Some of the wild roses and the like will start to blossom fairly quickly here. So the hummingbirds, they might be perched up high guarding their territory, but they have to come down low to feed a little bit. So the key is trying to get set up on one of their perches. So if you kind of just need to observe them a little bit, you said you'll see them flying down low. And it's a matter of hummingbirds, they're very, very tricky to photograph, and for a couple of reasons. One, they don't like any movement at all. So that's one of the big reasons to make use of a tripod. If you're trying to photograph them handheld, you have to hold your camera up at eye level. As soon as that bird lands on the perch, you go to lift the camera up, it's gone. They don't like any movement at all. The tripod helps to mask your movement. If the bird lands, it's about very, very slow movement. You just have to be minuscule movements at any time. Any sort of fast action. So if you want to pick the camera up, if you're handholding, just the flashing and the movement, the bird's gone. So you have to be very, very calculated in your movements. And even with the tripod, you just can't move. It's take the shot where it lands. You cannot approach it. You just don't even bother trying. It's going to fly away. Oh, got a towhee behind us here. But the one thing you also have to take consideration, obviously it's an overcast day today, so it's not a big an issue. But what you have to remember is, if you're shooting them on a sunny day, your shadow, even though you might think that you're kind of hidden behind the tripod, your shadow might not be. Here's a good example. So if I'm photographing a bird on top of the hedge here, you can see my shadow right below here. So if I'm moving, you can just see how much shadow movement you have. So you've got to be very aware of that. Even just swinging the camera a little bit, you can see. So that bird is sitting up here, that shadow's right below it. So they're seeing movement right below them. Something to be very aware of. So, and as you're trying to, I like to shoot in the evenings a lot. You can imagine your shadow is approaching. You got a big black thing that's stretching out towards this hummingbird as it's on its perch. So it just like to birds in general, they're looking down at the ground. They see a shadow approaching. It's a predator from above, as far as they know. So you have to be very conscious of your shadows, any movement. I'm always wearing camouflage, and a big part of camouflage is that it helps to mask your movements. I'm going to be doing a full video on camouflage in the coming weeks as well. We'll kind of explore different camouflage and how it affects different birds and different animals in different situations. So what you're trying to do is, you're basically going to we're gonna go through, I think the trees at the end here have got, it's kind of a nice hummingbird spot there. I always seem to get them there. So I like find this setup here is always been really good for me. So let's have we'll wander down and we'll kind of show as we're gonna set up here what we're kind of trying to do as we set up. Okay, so got a couple really key elements here that are just very, very important. So number one, I've got a high backdrop. So I've got a mountain behind us here, which will allow me to, got chickadees. People have been feeding the chickadees here. This is one you often hear me talk about. I like shooting with a tall tripod. And this is a great example of that, is that we're quite fortunate here because we've got a nice mountain backdrop. But a lot of times you'll find that if you don't have a mountain backdrop, you need a taller tripod. You need as tall a tripod as possible in order to get some of the green background. So you're not just shooting into the sky. Problem, as soon as you shoot into the sky, your subject goes dark. So you really want to get a green background, anything else, in order to get, so the colors will pop off the hummingbird. A lot of people like to shoot them on sunny days. They want the gorget to just, blow bright orange. For me, I much prefer photographing them on overcast days. I find that on a sunny day, the reflection is just far too harsh and you just lose so much of the detail in it. I find on overcast days, the gorget will have greens and reds and oranges. It looks spectacular. I'm a huge fan of how the throat appears on an overcast day, just the colors that come out of it. And it's a matter of, when the bird lands on the perch, you're trying to photograph it, as it's turning its head. You want to shoot throughout the head turn. Just shoot, especially with the hummingbird, because as they turn, so much of the reflection will change. You just want, you don't know, it's not a case of just waiting until you see it pop, because halfway through that turn, you might get the best color, where you got a little bit of bright orange in the front, but you get those amazing greens and reds start to come through. There's actually no pigment in the gorget. It's all reflected light. And it's a really, it can look amazing, just the shimmer in it on certain days. Today's kind of a perfect, we've got, bit of light showing. We've got kind of a mixed cloudy day. Hopefully it doesn't rain on us, but we've kind of got some, you can see here, we've got lots of new shoots coming out of the blackberries, and they just look beautiful. One of the things when you're shooting hummingbirds, it's trying to find flowers that match the subject. I find rufous hummingbirds don't generally shoot well against pink because they're orange and red. Anna's, because they've got more of a magenta gorget, they look great against, like I said, the magentas, the fuchsias, things like that. But out here, the blackberries is where I think the rufous, I really like the rufous colors against, the green and red stalks of the fresh blackberry shoots really matches the color of the rufous hummingbird. Okay, well, let's get behind the camera. We'll kind of settle down a little bit. They say, you just need to, normally we have one sitting up here, but we haven't seen or heard it yet. So I did have one a little bit further back, so we might have to go back and see if we can't stake that one out. But this spot here is always done well for me. So let's see what we can find. We just have one show up. Oh, one just flew in. Very cool. Okay. We've got two battling it out here. They're actually doing a dive right above us here. I don't know if I'll be able to put it. I'll try and see if I can get some slow motion video with a bit wider. It's amazing when they do their dive. It's kind of and then they literally crash out. It's like they just start spinning in the air as they come out of their dive. It's pretty amazing to watch. So we've got two in the area, so hopefully we'll get one on one of these perches here shortly. A raven flying in. What can also work really well is you can see that we've got the branches sticking off into the pathway here. A lot of times they will perch along the edges of the branches as they're working away feeding. So if you set up along the edge of the pathway, kind of shooting down the lane there, that can work really effectively, kind of getting them on some really nice perches as well. Right now he's perched up on the wire up there. See, he's perched up on the wire, but he will feed and he will kind of defend this territory. So there's another rufus just down that way. I think there's another one on the tree this way. So you kind of got these different territorial fights going on right now. So if one flies over, one does a display, they'll fly down and you'll end up getting them perched low on these perches, like I said, between feeding and territorial disputes. So it's a matter of just trying to pick your line. I said, so what works really well with the pathway here is you're trying to pick, you're trying to set up on zones where if they land on the perch, you've got nice bokeh. You don't want to be shooting you don't want to be kind of on a perch looking straight against the background. You want to work right down the hedgerow. But yeah, so this is kind of a really neat laneway that you're just trying to get, hopefully get lucky with them on a nice perch where you've got nice background separation. And that's kind of a real key to kind of getting sun behind you there, shooting down the laneway, and just getting as much separation between your subject and the background as you can. Definitely staying a little bit high today. He's just perched up here now. Show you. Right now he's against a white background, kind of like I'm right behind me here. So I'm shooting at, what am I at right now? At probably +1 on the exposure, just to help kind of brighten him up against the background. I say, and that's where you're trying to get them on a lower perch. So yeah, he's just watching me up there, so we'll keep moving. Yeah, it's always the anticipation at this time of year. Things always tend to start a little slower than you think. You always get so excited, but it's, I know so many of the warblers, it's about the 3rd week of April. Things start to show up, first, second week, but then it's kind of the 3rd week is when everything really starts to get active. That's when you head out in the forest and everything's singing. Still no yellow warblers here yet, no common yellow throats. Haven't heard anything yet. Mostly blackbirds and golden crowned sparrows. Lots of golden crowned sparrows and finches. I imagine some of the eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed another tripod head switch. Been trying out the Leo Photo kind of long lens tripod head. I think it's the VHN. I have to check on that. Trying to find a little bit lighter weight option for some of my bigger hikes. I did about 11K the other day, so don't want to be slinging that Manfrotto for those hikes. It gets to be a little bit heavy, so I'm going to head back down the trail. It's kind of quiet up here, other than red-winged blackbirds by the dozen. Yeah, let's go wander back down and see if we can't get lucky with the rufus in this evening light. I see one up ahead here. Oh, some nice flowery perches too. Hopefully we can get some, maybe get him feed. I'm not too worried about in-flights here. I think in-flights are definitely better done on a setup. For here, we're just looking for that nice perch shot. So you can see how these perches would be isolated from the pathway. So you want to shoot kind of down the laneway this way, and that'll allow you to kind of isolate the bird from the background. So let's, there's one just on the tree up here, so let's see if we can't, we'll set up here, see if we can't, oh, I can hear him buzzing. Oh, there he is, there he is. It's amazing the distance these guys will cover. You think you're, oh, I finally found one, and they'll blast off 100 meters back down the trail where I just was. Okay, well, He was feeding here, so let's have a set up and we'll see if we can't get lucky. We've got one coming in here. Very cool. Wow, can you see all the swallows? Bunch of tree swallows back now. Great blue heron right over top there. That was cool. They definitely like staying up high today. I've got another one up here. Okay, let's get on the other side of the light here and see if we can't get him when he comes down. Okay, he's on this side now. There. He's just working his way through the hedgerow here. So cool. Kind of feeding on some flowers as he's working his way down. That was beautiful. Wow, wow, wow. So awesome. They are such amazing birds. Just incredible. I think they've got one of the furthest migrations for the weight of the bird. Just amazing how far they travel. And they're so feisty when they get here too. That's awesome. Wow. Getting all sorts of light conditions tonight because we've got quite a broken up sky. So the sun's coming through. So I've had some shots in the sun, some shots in the shade. Yeah, I said this is always such a great start to spring when these guys show up. It always, every year, it's kind of, March, late March, as March comes to an end. It's always exciting. I think what happens too, I think the last week of March, I think a lot of the birds that end up here are ones that are going to Alaska. These guys will keep going right through. So they won't be as territorial. So in the next week or two, they'll be a little more established on their territories. So you get a lot more activity, feeding and everything else. And you can also notice how early it is. There's virtually no flowers coming out. There's a few little pink flowers starting to come through out in here, but for the most part, we're just starting to get the flowers and things budding. So yeah, I think these guys are the early ones. So these will actually be they go all the way to Alaska. It's pretty incredible how far these little hummingbirds will travel. Wow, yeah, just awesome. Yeah, just great to get out. I've been doing a ton of hiking, doing a ton of hiking with the camera. Not a lot of finding. It's been a strange year. I've heard virtually no barred owls calling in a spot. I did about an 11K hike the other day, and there's 4 barred owl territories in that hike. Silence right into the evening, absolute silence. So I imagine that whenever birds are on the nest, when they're on eggs, things really go quiet. You won't hear any hooting at all, and I think that's probably what's going on right now. He said we should have the black-throated gray warblers here the next week. Townsend warblers should be showing up. I know orange-crowned warblers are a little south of us right now, so they'll probably be here in the next day or two. Probably if I'd gone into hills, I would have found orange-crowned warblers. Yellow warblers here are a little bit later. This is, like I said, each of these species, it's amazing how, as things start returning, they return to the same tree, the same bush. It's incredible on the same day. We have black-headed grosbeaks feed in our yard every year. And I will see them on the feeder the same day, year in, year out. It's amazing how just on it they are. And that's one of the things with, as the climate changes, can be a little difficult because, when we have these variations, year to year that are a little more extreme than they used to be, they either show up with no food or too much food, or the food is passed. So it's very important, it can be very hard on the birds when they show up and everything's flowered and they're expecting to feed on that and it's gone. Like I said, this year's a bit strange one. Thankfully, we kind of had a reset after we had a warm, dry winter through January. We've had a bunch of rain since. So it's kind of prolonged the spring a little bit, which is great. You don't want to have it get hot and blasting sun early April. That's not good for anything. So I'm glad it's cooled off a little bit, which is great. I'm going to be setting up, doing a video of hummingbird setup in my yard for kind of a full setup photography, flashes, backgrounds, and everything else. Completely different. This is a wander and get lucky shoot, which I really enjoy this style of shooting. But we'll also do it on the feeders. You could bring a feeder out here and you might get lucky, but these birds are get established. So you need to leave a feeder for a week in order for the birds to find it, in order to get any activity on it. Just come and put a feeder up. You might get lucky. You might get a few birds coming to check it out. But generally in these situations, they're not really established on it, so it wouldn't be an effective strategy. But in your yard, definitely getting the feeder set up, get some, buy some fuchsias, some different flowers that attract them, absolutely makes sense. And now it's the time to do it. That's why I set up the feeders yesterday, set up a backdrop, and we said we'll kind of go into that setup in the next week or two. Well, I think the light is done. Great shoot, a little bit quiet, but definitely got some great footage and great photos. Yeah, so migration is here. So it's awesome. It's this time of year is just amazing. So every day you go out, you never know what you're going to see. Well, thanks for joining me today, folks. Please like and subscribe if you like this sort of content. I've got affiliate links down below, and if you want to help support the channel, I've got a link to my PayPal account down below too. Really appreciate you joining me today. And yeah, till next time, we'll see you out there. Take care.